we are live. Welcome to Show Me Your Pick. This is Fruitcake Tony. Nice to see everybody. Welcome to the Dokken edition of Show Me Your Pick. So let's bring in the usual suspects. Hey guys.
Hey.
What is happening?
Hey.
Queen's wave.
Parade wave.
Oh, parade wave.
Okay. Forrest Gump wave.
Love that wave.
Me too.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Doing good.
Ducky.
Everybody good today?
Yep.
Merry Christmas.
Sir.
It's almost
Merry
Christmas.
Ho ho.
Yeah, man. Next show will be
Ho,
after
ho,
Christmas,
mofo.
so this will be the last one before Christmas.
Couple of more days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been good, Gare?
No.
Okay, good.
I have a short story. I have a little short story to tell you.
Okay.
So as most of you know, that I was supposed to close on my house yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The asshole appraiser didn't get his paperwork in on time, so now we're not closing until Tuesday. I'm very irritated. Just saying.
Only a couple days, though.
Yeah, I hate that, though. You know.
But I took a day off for nothing.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks.
That's what stinks. But
yeah.
Little bump in the road, you'll be all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Those are all my grievances. My
airing of
grievances.
Your Festivus.
My Festivus grievance.
I have mine up at work. My Festivus poll on my desk.
Nice.
Yeah. To watch that episode.
We have a Charlie Brown tree.
I got a lot of problems with you people. All right. Not really. I have no problem with
Charlie Brown tree.
There's nothing wrong with Charlie Brown trees.
Well,
it's an actual Charlie Brown tree too.
The Rockefeller Center tree was a Charlie Brown tree. If you saw that one, ooh, needed a little bit of love.
No, they had it all blocked off. You couldn't really see it. I was trying to watch some dude's live stream on YouTube, but they had the city buses like back to back, and then between the buses they had cardboard or some plastic shit up, so you could only see like this much of the top of the tree.
That's all that was good, so that's why. It's all good. The Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
Ho ho, mofo.
Nobody has it anymore, so.
I still try.
Who is in the chat today, Gary?
Well, let me tell you there, Tony. Today, in the chat, we have, if I can draw this out for another second, I will tell you exactly who is in the chat.
I hear scrolling.
Starting with, I'm stalling like a motherfucker. Tim Wright, what is up, dude? Glad you could make it. Sandra, I know her. Sandra Pokorney, who? T. White Bailey. What's up? Thomas Santiago. What's up, brother? Hugh Caldwell. What's up, dude?
Hugh?
We have also Ricky Hefner. What's up, dude? Gonna be showing your pickups on our show later. Gil Crab. What's up, bro? I don't
Gil
know
in the house.
But welcome.
Yeah, that's
Gil.
I don't know who that is either.
Gil is a lifelong buddy of mine. Gil and me have been to lots of concerts together. Gil and me went to the Monsters of Rock in '88. Gil, hang out. I'm going to show you some pictures of that day here in a little while. Nice to see you, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Welcome.
But I think that about covers it for now. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's everybody.
All right.
Everybody.
Nice exclusive little group, isn't it?
Everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Welcome,
I'm sure to step out of
everybody.
this video and get some of your friends in here.
Oh, I miss Brendan Butt Cheeks. He's in here too.
My butt cheeks are here.
The butt cheeks are here.
We only have one butt cheek today.
You only have one?
So,
I
kids,
don't know.
we have a special guest.
No.
Really?
Two?
Yeah.
We have a special guest.
Who is it?
Who is
Yep.
it? Pray tell.
We all know him. We all love him.
Can't live without him.
He is the 80s rock guy.
Heart hand, heart hand, heart hand.
He is the 80s rock guy.
Thank you.
And a legend in his own mind.
Yeah.
And mine too.
So,
And a purveyor of some sweet ass guitars.
Yes.
let's bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh Lord.
John Mancuda.
He rises from the dead.
I've risen from the dead.
There he is.
As dead as my erection is this morning. I love how you said we all know him, we all love him, and it's like we have 7 in the chat. I'm like,
Hey, you know, not as 14.
yeah, hey, listen, it's
But
good
it's
to be
the
loved by
right
good to be
seven.
loved by anybody. That's more than my 2 parents. So you know,
Gotta take what you can get, brother.
that's hey, listen, it's like dating. I take whatever I can get.
But you did more sit-ups than I've done today. Just doing that.
That was my exercise for the year.
Right.
That was my exercise for the year. I got to work off all the peppermint bark ice cream I've been eating this week.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Hey, Hell
Hi,
Face.
Hal.
Alfred.
Hey, Hal.
Half Ace. Hell Face.
Hi, everybody in the chat, by the way.
Like
Hal
check
face.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Dokken edition.
Well, Dokken.
Dokken. You know a little bit about them, John? You heard of them, right?
brother.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, it's Mitch. A little bit.
Dude,
I was
you
a
have some surprise-
Dokken fan from the beginning,
Me
like
too, man.
real early on.
Yeah.
I got this cassette called Masters of Metal, and it had like all a mix of just like, you know, I don't know, probably 15 songs from various bands. It had Dokken and Dio and Y&T, and you know, just a little snippet from everybody. And Dokken's song was Breaking the Chains,
Yeah.
and it was like the first song on that cassette. And I just kept rewinding to that song and that song and that song, and I was like, these guys are awesome. And from there, it was just like, I love Dokken.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was scrolling through MTV, the TV today, and In My Dreams was on. So I was like, oh, that's apropos.
That's
a great-
that's probably my favorite Dokken song.
Yeah, I think it's mine. Besides Dream Warriors, you know, I love Dream Warriors, even though it's kind of cheesy. It's still an awesome song.
It's just an awesome song. I mean,
It really
you know,
is.
maybe the movie behind it, The Nightmare on
Right.
Elm Street 4, is a little cheesy, and you know the video where you know
Yeah.
George's you know Skull and Bones mom guitar is fighting Freddy Krueger.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, you know, which at the time was like, wow, you
Yeah.
know,
We all watched it, but it's a great freaking song.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
oh,
it's
yeah.
killer song, killer
Yeah.
song.
The
Yeah,
first
love
Dokken song I played in the cover band was Alone Again. That was like our slow dance ballad.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've cried many a
That was-
broken relationship over that song. No shit.
Alone Again.
No shit. Anytime I
cried.
broke up with some chick, I'd lock myself in my room. I'd just turn that on the stereo. I'd be like, "Doom, doo, 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 doo.
I cried
like
many-
to see you in the morning." Oh, to this day, it's my favorite ballad.
I cried playing that song many times. Like, not this fucking song again. Oh my god.
You got to look at that song in a good light. Like, Alone
Not when you-
Again. Thank God.
Not when you play it once a week for like 10 years.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
It gets old real quick.
I love it, but it's emotional and it sucks because I always think
It
of it
is.
like when I break up with someone and I'm like, oh my God.
It's actually a great solo in that song too, man.
Oh,
That's a
it's
Yeah.
good song.
Oh, yeah.
Killer. The song is killer.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey.
Brother Mitch.
Everybody, hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Ricky's watching in the living room. I can hear the delay.
Hey, Ricky. Is
Hi,
Ricky in
Ricky
the
watching
chat?
in his living room.
No.
Let's show
Hey, Ricky's not in the
everybody.
chat, but hey, Ricky.
Let's show everybody this giveaway.
Ooh.
That's pretty sweet.
Ooh, a giveaway.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Now,
Nice.
Sweet.
what's cool about this pick
Everything.
is this is from the very short reunion tour from 16.
John, there he is.
Named after my penis. Hi, Ricky.
Hi.
Oh,
It was a very
Ricky, you're so
it
fine.
was
You're
a
so
very
fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Ricky. Oh, Ricky, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow. Sorry.
No, I was right in you. I was
I know
right
you
with
were.
you, Gary.
Thanks for having my back, brother.
Absolutely, my man.
Into the fire.
Rock 88.
Into the fire. I'm falling again into the fire. Yeah,
Rock-
great song.
Rock 88 was back in the 80s, it was a underground local college heavy metal rock station over in Raleigh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you think Don would have been that recognizable if he didn't wear that hat all the time? You know,
No.
feel like his signature thing. No, yeah.
I think he still would have been, but that hat was pretty badass. I
Yeah.
mean, that was a good look.
Yeah,
was.
it was.
With the fringe and the gloves. I know I had a lot of black fringe because of Don.
I know I couldn't wear that hat, so I'd probably look like a forest ranger or something with that hat. But you know, he wears it well. You know,
Nah,
definitely.
he looked cool. He looked cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that fringe, man, I had like a black suede fringe jacket, multiple black leather fringe jackets, and all because I liked that look on Don. Between Don and Bon Jovi, they were like my fringe guys, you know,
Oh, yeah.
my
It is.
designers.
Definitely cool.
Alex Radford in the house. What up, Alex?
Hey,
See
Alex.
you, brother.
What's up, my man?
And Blackjack. What's up, dude?
Hey,
Hi, Alex.
everybody in the chat.
Hello.
Everybody who's anybody.
Get a little bang there, Tony.
Yeah.
Trying to get some bang.
Star
Bang,
Blast.
baby. Bang, baby.
Star Blast. What are you drinking, John?
Birthday, Rainbow Unicorn, which is similar to birthday.
Oh.
Card character. Okay.
No, I thought it was birthday cake because the cans are both bright and cheesy.
Your coffee in there?
There
As far
is
as-
cherry juice mixed with tea.
Oh.
Because
I like the bang.
that's what I drink now.
Bang's good, right?
It is, man.
Yeah.
I have my
Yeah, it's like
usual-
the bubble
usual
gum
Jim
flavors.
Yeah, I like. That's what I like about Bang. It's like candy in a liquid.
Yeah.
You know, and it's bad for me, which I love. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Of course.
Who got us hooked on them damn things? I wonder who. Shit.
He's
Twas
wearing
me.
pink.
Twas me.
That guy.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
guy.
Now, by
Yeah.
the end of the year, everyone's gonna be wearing pink accessories, drinking Bang, and like making idiots of themselves. So it's like I'm ruining the world one small step at a time.
All right, I already got
Three-quarters of
two.
the way there now.
I already got two of those three. I'm good.
I've been making an idiot out of myself for years, so you can't lay claim to that one, John.
I make an idiot of myself for everybody's entertainment. So there you go.
There you go.
Oh, John, you're a disappointment to the family. I know, Mom.
But I'm
Thank
funny,
you,
Ma. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ma, but I'm funny. They're not laughing
You're not-
with you,
you're not-
John.
I was
They're
about
laughing
to
at
say,
you.
they're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you. I know, Mom. I know. Just like Dad in the crib. You look like a little eggplant parmesan. You're an ugly baby. Now you're talking to the baby? No, honey. No.
A laugh is a laugh. That's the way I look at it.
That's how I look at it. I just want everyone to laugh. We need more laughter this year.
We
We
do.
do.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Ready for
People
a
talk
new
about-
year.
People talk about like bands and going to see live venues again. I'm looking forward to live comedy again. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I love live comedy.
Comedy
Man.
shows.
I like watching him on HBO, but you know what? I try not to get into my head like, oh, that's a good idea, because then like subconsciously I'm like getting someone's material in my head, you know?
Yeah, true.
So
True.
Yeah,
True
ready
that.
for a new year.
God. Ugh.
Hopefully, it'll be a
So
much
ready.
better year. I think it will.
Can't be worse.
And
I don't
I'll
think
be
it.
the
I
first
don't think it
one.
could be worse.
I'll roll my sleeve up first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, me
late.
too, man.
Too late. I have no sleeves.
I'm getting so vaccinated so fast. As soon as it's my turn. I mean,
Yeah.
which will be down a lot, probably by summer. I'm hoping.
I think so. I think by late spring, early summer, it'll start to hit us little people.
Yeah, definitely. They're like looking on their list. They're like, okay, frontline workers, home healthcare workers, home healthcare patients, the elderly with underlying conditions, the elderly with no conditions, middle-aged people, young kids, homeless, cucumbers, old vegetables, dirt,
Cucumbers.
mancuda. So I'm on the list, but I'm kind of down in the low priority.
Yeah,
I need to get my cucumber vaccinated.
I'd be okay if it happened by spring.
It's going to be close, but
It'll probably. I think for like us healthy, youngish adults, it'll be probably closer to summer at the rate they're going.
Yeah.
But look, I'm just happy that our loved ones will be protected early, and we'll deal with it. We'll get through it, and then we'll go back to live music and a real semblance of normal life.
at least there's a path forward. That's a good thing.
True.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
I saw a funny meme, though. It was the Ramones about the end of 2020. This is it said 2020, 24 hours to go. The day before. It was hilarious. I saw it.
That is funny.
It was pretty good. It was pretty apropos. So
That is funny.
I'm sure that'll be popping up a lot.
Yes.
People are creative out there. There's so many creative memes and all kinds of other crap that people throw
Well,
out
we're
there.
bored. We're all bored.
I know. It's
That
funny.
Quentin James, he makes some pretty good memes.
Oh, Quentin's fun, and Michael the Captain Smith is great.
Oh, his Facebook feed. Oh my God, I laugh so
Facebook
hard.
is awesome.
I laugh so hard.
Yeah.
He I don't know how he finds that stuff, but that's the funniest shit. Love it.
Gil, are you still here in the chat, dude?
Yep, I just saw him a minute ago.
I want to show you something if you're here still.
Excuse me while I whips this out.
Oh boy.
He was up there earlier, Tony.
Yeah.
And with the stroke of a zipper.
Gil and me went and saw a lot of concerts
This right
together.
here?
Young G&R opening Motley shows, Van Halen, Monsters of Rock. Yeah.
The Monsters of Rock 1988.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I've got some shots of that at RFK Stadium that he hadn't seen. And another buddy of mine is in here, Scully Mack.
He's detained.
We've been to a lot of concerts together. He turned me on to G&R back in the day, back when they had that little live album out first.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice to see you, bro.
I'm putting a link in the chat. Ricky wants people to watch it at some point and wants to know if you guys have ever seen it. It's Guitar Buddy with George Lynch from Dokken is the name of the video.
Guitar Buddy. Was that a product?
Ricky.
Oh, that's that finger thing, isn't it? That's like that finger exercise thing.
That's what it is.
I don't think it was that one.
I'm
But it
watching
sounds
it now.
familiar.
I wonder.
I think it was, John.
I don't think it was the finger. That was Vivian Campbell endorsed that. And that was something. I think Guitar Buddy, wasn't that like to hold something on your guitar?
He's swinging like a gig bag around himself, and now he's doing some different guitar moves with it. It's funny.
Gil Crab's back.
Oh
Tony.
wait, I know what this was. This was the inflatable guitar that George was playing with the inflatable guitar, right?
I think it might be. Is that an inflatable
Yeah.
guitar?
Yeah.
Ricky!
Oh, they're coming for me.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I know. I hear sirens, and she's like, "Ricky, Ricky was a young
Here.
That's
boy."
explaining to do.
That was me. That was me, actually.
Oh, okay.
Let me show a couple of pictures here. This is from
It's an inflatable guitar, yes. Okay.
Yeah. I remember
this
that.
is from 1988
That is cool.
at RFK Stadium,
Wow.
A lot of people.
and
Yeah.
Hey, that's my van. That's my Dodge van right there.
That's cool.
that's them getting in the van after their.
Those motherfuckers stole my van.
I have a van like that, except it's white and it says "free candy" on the side.
Free candy and puppies. Yeah, I know. I've seen it, John.
Oh, God, not Porkies.
That was
That's
you.
what will get me.
That was me.
That was you, John. I almost got in that van.
Doggies.
Yeah.
You're not my target audience, but hey, I'll take what I can get these days.
I'm
That
slow.
piece
I'm
of
a
candy.
slow fat guy.
That's cool.
That is cool, Tony. Holy cow.
Yeah, Monsters of Rock was a great show for Dokken, and that's the big one where his main guitar on that tour was the Purple Tiger, which because he didn't want to take the original Orange Tiger on the road, so he made the Purple Tiger, and that was where that became like a big guitar of his. So
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Did Satchel steal that from him? Like that kind of thing?
the
Because
Purple.
he's
No,
got-
because
any-
Satchel
any
was
kind
leopard.
of- Oh, it was? That's
Yeah, Satchel had leopard
Satchel
print.
had
He had
leopard,
leopard print.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's called the Purple Tiger or the Sunburst Tiger because it's like a burst, but it's orange tiger with a yellow tiger with a little orange around, and then the edges were deep purple.
Gotcha.
So that was like his main guitar during the Monsters of Rock. You could probably like just Google a lot of images and like all over of him playing that one.
Did he have that through the whole tour, or did he switch?
Yeah,
around?
that was his main guitar
That was
during
it?
the Monsters of Rock. Yeah, like he also played a that's where he played the Green Kamikaze, which is just over my shoulder here. Now that's not George's Green Kamikaze, but that's the color scheme. That is a Green Kamikaze. This
Cool.
particular one has a very rare headstock. It's a banana headstock with an ebony board. George's original was a maple board with a sawtooth pointed headstock. But I wanted this rare variation, so I got this. But that's that's the color scheme of the Kamikaze he played on that tour.
Was the sawtooth reversed, or was it?
It was
'Cause that's
it was
reversed.
reversed. It was reversed. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, it was a weird headstock. It was like just something he came up with and thought was cool, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I like the banana headstocks on the Kamikaze line.
Yeah.
So, but they were custom order only. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Still so much to learn. Still,
so much to learn.
so much to learn about.
Now later on in the show, John, you own a couple of guitars that George actually owned.
Correct. I own a total of 7 of George's main guitars that he played through his career. I brought on a few of them today to show with you guys, and just for display. Like I said, I put up the Green Kamikaze, in honor of George and Dokken. But I have a few with me today that I'll show off that are George's actual owned and played guitars that you'll very easily recognize. So definitely stay through the whole broadcast because you do not.
You are in for a
that.
treat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
No, John. Just so we're clear, you built these guitars, right?
No. I know where the joke came from, but no, I do not.
All
Okay,
right.
I just wanted to clarify.
I know. I am the caretaker and owner of these guitars after George owned them. So there you go.
Leave it to Gary, right?
that
Amen,
was-
Even
brother.
in the band.
Just wanted to clarify.
That was funny.
Just wanted
No,
to clarify.
regular
Anyway.
viewers of the show will get that inside joke. So
So
If
tune
not-
in every week. It pays.
Yeah.
It really does.
yeah, if not, there's nothing to see here. Don't worry.
Nothing to see you.
Yeah. Should we start the ball rolling with one of these guitars?
Yes, please.
yeah.
Please do.
Okay. All right. Let's go with. Do you have internet access to post a photo?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you pull up a photo of George on the Monsters of Rock tour, playing that Purple Tiger?
Ooh.
Sandra, you can do that.
Sandra's
I'm
on.
gonna try.
Oh boy.
Sandra can do anything. She's like Wonder Woman of our crew.
Sandra.
Pay no attention to the woman behind the curtain.
Sandra Pokorney, 1984.
George Lynch.
84. I don't
George
remember
Lynch,
84.
Monsters of Rock. There's plenty of photos of him playing that Purple Tiger because, like I said, that became his main guitar at that point.
Brendan, are you sinking?
No. I'm only sitting on one butt cheek. Now I'll sit on both of them. There we go. Now I'm a little higher.
Oh,
Nelson
yeah.
Rodriguez in the house. Hey, Nelson. Welcome.
There you go.
There
And that
you go,
better
big
make see my shirt.
Oh,
Cigar-
nice.
Cigar box guitar life.
Yeah, see? Promote that shit, brother.
Oh, doggy. Little doggy, hi.
Wiener dog.
Yeah, John, while Sandra's pulling that up, I had a request to build a couple of EVH striped cigar boxes, so I'm going to send. I have a bunch back there. I'm going to send to Craig, and he's going to paint them for me.
Nice.
So, because
Very cool.
people are asking, I haven't seen too many of them, but I think there's people are going to want them.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
we'll do well with those, man. I think because they're already cool on their own, but when you start like doing the EVHs on them,
Yeah,
that's a whole nother level. Because everyone wants to complete their EVH collection with cool stuff.
yeah. I can't paint it, so I was like, because Craig lives like 40 minutes from me.
And
So,
Craig's great.
he's awesome. I talked to him like, dude, would you be able to paint? He's like, yeah, man. Give me 3 or 4 of them. I'll, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be cool.
Very, very cool.
Clive, cheers, bro. Good to see you, buddy. Glad you could make it.
Hey there.
I know it's early as fuck over there.
It's
Yeah.
4 o'clock somewhere.
Uh-huh.
It's working its way there.
It's like 5 a.m. What time is it in Australia?
No, yeah, something like it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Half
Yeah,
past a
it's-
kangaroo's sack.
Oh, Clive. Just for no other reason, my wife is in the house right now watching a documentary on 70s Australian car chase movies.
Oh, Mad Max.
All kinds of crazy Australian car chase movies.
Wow.
They did the best car chase movies in the 70s.
Nice.
Besides Mad Max. There's a bunch of them, man.
Sandra
I watched
Ben
it.
Tom said he just texted you a lynch pick.
I still have to.
Not a lynch pin, but a lynch pick.
Yeah, I have to get it to the place where I can actually share it. When I have StreamYards open, it slows my
yeah, it's
computer
slow.
way down. That's
Still
why I
no
was
new
hoping-
computer yet?
No, now it's coming in January.
Oh, sons
Well,
of
hopefully
bitches.
I will be too, if it's a good year.
Oh,
Hey.
boy.
It's a
Wishful
new year.
thinking there, Johnny.
It's a new year, buddy.
Can't get worse.
Don't
I mean,
say
I
that.
found a picture of the guitar. I'm just
Stay optimistic, John. Stay
waiting for
optimistic.
my computer.
Gotta be.
There's always Blue Rhino.
No, he's a sweet, innocent little rhino.
That's right. Stop trying to exploit.
Do not
corrupt-
corrupt. Do not corrupt Blue Rhino. Blue Rhino is sweet, innocent, and the exact opposite of me. That's right. It's my best buddy right there.
Just not opening.
He's cool. Don't let your
Oh,
beard
he's,
on fire.
he's awesome. He's awesome. That's my cuddle every night.
Well, let's see if I can screen share this.
He's a
Tony, how many times have you seen Dokken. Toby.
A couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen Don Dokken, but I've never seen Dokken.
No.
You've never seen them with Lynch?
No, I only saw Don when he was doing his solo thing. He came here.
Okay.
Poughkeepsie a couple of times, but no, I never saw the whole band.
When
George.
Dokken split into Lynch Mob.
Yeah.
What's up, Tommy? How you doing, Tommy boy?
So you had Don Dokken on his own band, and George Lynch formed Lynch Mob. You know, the thing about Dokken is they always had this, like, you know, battling relationship between Don and George. And, you know, eventually it just came to a head about what was that, 1990? Something like that?
Something like that, 90, 91.
Yeah, and they split into two bands, Don Dokken and Lynch Mob. And look, both were good. I mean, we got two good albums out of them, but it was very cool when Dokken reunited with George. And you know, that's always,
Here we go.
you know. Let's see. So this is George Lynch. Okay. Well, that's the guitar itself.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get a.
They actually had him playing it, so I don't know what happened.
I just wanted George playing it on the Monsters of Rock tour. Let me see. I can probably
like a live shot.
I'll put one up on my iPad. Hold on.
Will Starr's in the house. What's up, Will? How you doing, buddy?
Will.
John, you were just on Will's show last week before?
Yes, I was. I had a great time there.
Great show, man.
It was a lot of fun.
Will's awesome.
Yeah, I like Will's show.
Okay, let's see.
Love you too, Tommy boy.
Hanging with the Dreamer, and I was last week. We did a long episode. That was like probably 2.5 hours hanging with the Dreamer.
I hung out for a while with you guys.
Facebook was taking forever too.
I was chilling with you guys for a bit.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Janice.
So Janice Lala in the house. Okay, here's George. Here's George. We could isolate that. Here's George playing the Purple Tiger.
Oh, nice.
And the 88 Monsters of Rock tour with those unforgettable pants.
Yeah.
Those pants are awesome. You know, that patchwork pants. But that's like the classic look of that concert for Dokken as far as they go. So what I have here, let's see, just to get us off on the right foot, boys and girls, is the actual Purple Tiger. So this is that guitar under shit lighting.
Nice.
That's the actual guitar?
This is the actual guitar. This is George Lynch's actual Purple Tiger, the one that George played that there are a bazillion replicas of right now. Unfortunately, due to the light, which really sucks.
No, dude, it looks great.
It's a little hard to see.
It
but
looks
you can
great.
see if I put it closer to the light, the edges are purple.
Yep.
Then you have a layer of orange.
Yeah.
And then yellow. That's probably a little better. There you go.
Dude, that's beautiful. You can see it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And then one of the things about it is this headstock, particularly, you know, because it's a natural headstock, a lot of the production copies of this colored it to match the body. So they were, you know, the purple, yellow, and orange. Or the first run made in Japan that replicated this guitar had this natural wood headstock. But after that, I think just for marketing, they started coloring it the body color of the guitar. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize this neck was originally on a different guitar. It was on a BC Rich black and gray snakeskin gunslinger that George had used, but he liked the neck so much, he took it off to, you know, use that as his main neck and put it on the Purple Tiger, which was, since that tour, his main guitar. God, I wish
I wish
the color could come in better. I'm sorry.
No, dude, it looks great. It looks fantastic.
It's great.
It doesn't look as bright. You know, it's hard to see the purple.
It does, man. You can see it. You can see
There
it.
you go. That's
You
cool.
can definitely see it.
Yeah, and
you know, curl around.
It's a little, you know,
Even the
obviously-
back is wicked.
Well, there's some wear on the back, and you know, George takes
but that's cool.
Little chunks of wear out of the guitar, and you know,
Dude, if that thing had a maple fretboard, I would be like, I don't know. I might have to sell.
You'd be okay to own it?
I might have
this
to
around so I could sell it to you.
I might have to compromise my morals to buy it from you.
Yeah, I had to compromise my orals to buy it from George. No, and this, again, I got this directly from George. Who I do know George,
that is sick.
Yeah, and then if you notice, at one point he had a Sustainiac on here. You could see the holes from it if you look close.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's it got for pickups in it now? Duncan, what? You know what they are?
This is some sort of modified Duncan prototype in the bridge, and I don't know what's in the neck because I never really use neck pickups.
Yeah,
but whatever George had in there is. See, it's hard to see. You can probably see it a little better now. The purple.
Yeah, it's popping there.
In the bad light, it looks black, but it's.
Dude,
I
it looks
assure you,
fantastic.
it's bright purple.
Let's call that single coil the Alone Again pickup.
There you go. It's alone again without alone again in the neck. Yeah, and you can see how
it never gets used.
You can see how dirty the neck is if you look close. I guess you could.
Yeah,
sorry about the bad lighting, but you can see look at the difference between the neck and the headstock wood. You see how dark and dirty that is.
That's
played
great.
the shit out of this constantly, and he used this with Lynch Mob also.
That is beautiful.
There you go with that.
That might be like one of my favorite guitars you ever showed us.
And like I said, this is to make this. Hey, Will Starr, how are you, brother? To make this, this neck came off of that gunslinger, and used to make this. And this obviously, if you've seen ESP, they've made thousands and thousands and thousands of replicas of this specific guitar.
Yeah.
John, hold up the shot of George and the guitar beside that guitar, if you would.
Sure. Hang on one second.
Thumbnail.
Hold on. Well, we'll make a better thumbnail later because I'll put together two guitars and hold them up, and you'll probably want that thumbnail more.
Okay, sure.
But just if you want to see the photo again.
Yeah, I just want everybody to.
Sure.
Look at this one more time from '88.
Yeah. Hold on. There you go. So there's. Let's see. There's George.
Perfect.
And there's the actual guitar. There you go.
Nice.
That was cool, man.
Sweet.
That's so cool.
Hell yeah.
That's not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Holding a piece of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a piece of Dokken history. Again, George even wrote me a note with it, and little, here you go, man, Kuda kind of thing when I picked it up from him.
Yeah.
There you go. And one of the things he says, this was my bread and butter on most of the Dokken records and on the first Lynch Mob record, plus many tours. Take care of my baby George Lynch. So
nice.
that was real nice. And George is a nice guy, and I love his guitars and his work.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
John,
sorry about the bad lighting. Looks so.
I
dark.
never asked this question. And
7 inches. What do you? Oh, whoa! What do you ask? What do you ask? I'm sorry.
You're feeling you're feeling optimistic today, aren't you?
I sure am dreaming.
I would never normally ask this question, and feel you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But what would a person have to pay for that guitar?
Well, it's not for sale.
No, I mean,
right.
I'm asking you how much you paid for it, and if you don't want to tell me, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't want to disclose it just because George would, it's between me and George, cool. But it wasn't cheap. And it was, it was partial because, I know the guy. So it's not like, anybody and their mother, could walk up and say, hey, you want to sell me a guitar? It's, it would be awkward. But no, we had a mutual friend that put us together. And, I said, hey, I'd really like to buy one or more of George's guitars. And I was originally offered the Pants guitar, which was basically a guitar made out of the pants that he wore in that photo. He basically took that material, glued it onto a guitar, and played that, which you'll see in some Lynch Mob photos and stuff. But that, again, one thing about guitars for me, I only buy ones that I'm going to play and enjoy. So I wasn't really into that one as far as playability. I thought the cloth was weird. It looks cool, and it is historic, but
it's a one-off.
Yeah, definitely unique and George's and famous. But I wasn't into myself. I couldn't see myself reaching for it a lot. I'm more into paint jobs and graphics and blah blah blah. And I said, here's my wish list of out of George's guitars, what I'd like. And this was like at the top of the list because I always really liked this one. And that was, where it basically came from. That person put us together and worked it out. And then since then, I've gotten other guitars from George and, blah, blah, blah. But this was my first Lynch guitar. It's definitely one of the fave guitars in my collection. And look, people ask me, they're like, well, Mancuda, you don't play that, do you? I'm like, why? Well, you don't want to hurt it. It's so valuable. And I'm like, listen, if George Lynch, who's a pro player and a monster player, can play it literally thousands of times on stage and bang it up a little, what damage is my stupid ass going to do to it playing it in my living room?
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to hurt it. Don't worry about it.
And normally I wouldn't ask you how much you paid for a guitar, but that thing is just so gorgeous, man.
No, a lot of people ask me,
use your imagination.
One of my very, very close friends living in England came over the house, and he knew I had this guitar, and this was like his dream guitar since he was a kid. He had literal posters and photos of it on his walls, his bedroom, and in his school locker. And he was like, would you mind showing it to me? I was like, show it to you, dude. Sit down and play it. And he was like blown away, like to the point of emotional. And his girlfriend was taking photos and playing and video, and I was like so happy that I could share something that means so much to fans with other fans like myself. I mean, I'm a big fan. That's why this guitar means a lot to me.
That's cool, man.
So why wouldn't I want to share with other fans? I feel at least you should have a responsibility to share something like this. If you're going to own something iconic that means a lot to people, you should share it with people.
Yeah, like you're doing now.
Yeah, and that's why I show these. It's like
historic.
Every for those that don't know me, I'm on another podcast on YouTube, Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live every week, and every week I show a show and tell guitar because I'm a fan too. I would want to see them if someone else owned them. So, especially something celebrity like this, you have to show these off,
Incredible.
And
that's incredible.
So the fans can get a good look at it that, they might not see the back of it in a magazine or whatever.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Seeing all the nicks and dings
look at the damage George does to these freaking guitars.
That's the best part. That's the best part.
You're not going to see that anywhere else.
Yeah, all the paint chips and knocks, and sometimes you can look in a magazine and say, "Oh, that paint chip, I see it now," or matching the wood on the headstock, because there's a lot of replicas made of this guitar, but you can trace the wood grain on this headstock to other photos of this guitar.
You can't see this very well, but that's the guitar he's playing.
Yeah, on the Monsters of Rock tour, he played this all over the place.
Cool.
The honest wear is like the thing that sells it.
Oh yeah, and the feel of it. I mean, this thing's broken in. It's so funny. Look at the area George didn't touch.
Yeah,
it's so hard in the damn light. But you can see the shade difference. Look how dark the rest of the wood is, except over here it's brand new. Right. It's like, well, that's George's sweat and wear.
That's honest wear.
That's play wear. That's a pro player. I mean, it's a guy who's toured thousands of tours. But anyway, that's the relic. First. Yeah. It's a real relic. So that's the first guitar you're going to see today. I have others, some really cool ones. So stick around. Watch the whole show. It will be worth it. I promise you.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah. And everybody on the planet, it's not the honest wear that makes it unique. It's the fact that is everybody on the planet knows that guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Every Dokken fan in the world knows that guitar. There's replicas. There's a million. I mean, it's an iconic piece of George Lynch Dokken history. That's incredible.
Yeah, and he's one of the greatest players of the 80s metal scene. So, you know, very recognizable guitar. Janice asks in the chat, not so much how much you spend, but how much would one cost? You know, I mean, there's only one. So it's like one. Yeah. A celebrity guitar can go for any amount of money. I mean, they've gone, you know, 4 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures. It all depends on the player and how badly people want it, you know? So it's really hard to say. I can say replicas of that guitar, the ESP production ones made in Japan, various versions of it, they're usually a few $1,000s, you know, and you could get like an LTD version that's maybe $1,500 if you just want a similar guitar with that paint job, and then an ESP version, probably about, you know, 3,000 to 4,000 ish for one of those versions. But, you know, the real one of one, you know, there's no real, you know,
there's no price tag. You can't ask how much. That is it. I mean,
yeah, and out of respect for George, I don't want to talk about what I gave him, but
no, it's all good. It's all good, man. I just figured I'd throw it out there, you know.
No, absolutely. You know, and you know, I hope everyone in the chat's enjoying it. If you did enjoy seeing that guitar and looking forward to more, leave a thumbs up on the video, share the video, subscribe, show some love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank you.
Definitely.
For sure.
Nelson Rodriguez, hello.
Hey, man.
Hey, dude.
Over $7,000.
Over $7,000.
For what? One of the ESP replicas?
Damn.
Some of them. I mean, some of them go that high. It's
Again,
you know, it's harder to find the ones with the natural wood headstocks because those were the first ones released to look exactly like the original. But then, you know, they stopped doing that and they started painting the headstocks. So I think the natural wood ones go for probably more.
Cool.
Closer.
That's awesome.
What is your take, John, on all the music that George made with Lynch Mob compared to the music he made
with Dokken?
With Dokken.
I mean, here's the thing about Dokken. I mean, Dokken had a terrific sound as a group. And obviously, George stood out because he's one of those, you know, 80s guitar heroes. He's above and beyond a lot of other players, very similar to, you know, guys like Warren DeMartini and Jake E. Lee, who are peers at that level. And really, you know, just, you know, one step below Eddie Van Halen, you know, into that, you know, I mean, everyone's below Eddie Van Halen, but like they're just one step below. You have those, you know, those George Lynch, Warren DeMartini, Jake E. Lees. And that brought a lot of really great writing to Dokken. Don's voice was really good back in the day. It was a nice mix, you know. And
come and say that.
You know, when you had come on, Ricky. Don't be camera shy.
I know, right?
Ricky, hold on. I got to stop this rant. Ricky, just come on and say something. We're you know, we're not on NBC. It's a podcast. Come on. Anything goes.
NBC.
Yeah, he says it's not NBC. Come on.
WN.
Take a second. WNBC. No.
WNBC.
He said Lynch was one of the boys of '79.
As far as
who were they?
George, Randy, and Eddie.
And he just runs away. He yells something.
Ricky, just come on the air.
Randy Rhoads.
Come on the air. Just come on the air. Take a second.
We'll wait.
The whole show is waiting for you. Just come on the air for a second.
Yeah, right. We're waiting, Rick.
Let's go, Rick.
Put on. You don't even have to put on some pants. We're fine.
We're waiting for you, Rick.
I think he's sliding
Come on,
in.
Ricky.
He's coming.
He's coming. He's grabbing his coffee.
Yeah, he's coming. So's Christmas. Come on, hurry up.
A few days away.
Speak your mind, Ricky. Speak your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Stars.
Yeah.
There you are, brother. How are you, man?
Oh, for God's sake.
He said he's one of the
Hi.
boys from '79.
And who were the boys?
Randy Rhoads.
Meaning what?
Van Halen. George Lynch.
Nice.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That's for sure.
And you have to remember, going through the early scene, his buddy was Warren DeMartini. I mean, they were always palling around.
Yep.
You know, but this was one of the earliest '80s guitar heroes. Starting with really, he had his own band earlier. What was he in? I forgot the band he was in before Dokken. Exciter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Exciter. He stood out, and he auditioned originally for Ozzy Osbourne's band after
Right.
Randy passed away.
Right.
So-
And Sharon didn't like his hair or something like that. Is that right?
Right.
He actually
Yeah.
auditioned.
That
Yeah,
sounds like Sharon.
Sharon basically, she said he looks like a
He
skunk,
auditioned before.
with the short. She didn't like the short hair, and she called his guitar a piece of snot because his first Tiger that he made alongside with the yellow was a green Tiger named Booger. Well, he called it Booger after Sharon called it a piece of snot, but he had a green Tiger, dark green Tiger called. That originally was unnamed. Then Sharon said, "Why would you want that guy? He has short hair. Look at him, and he's playing a piece of snot guitar." So after that, George said, "I'm going to nickname my guitar Booger. Thank you." So he totally did not get that gig, and he was delivering liquor at the time, and he thought, "Geez, I'm back to delivering liquor. I'm never going to make it." And then it wound up that he wound up going with Don Dokken, and the rest is history. But he almost became Ozzy's guitarist. He was very close because originally, they thought that well, this guy is a really good player, but Sharon nixed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stinks. When stuff
Black
like that.
Sharon nixed
Chestnut, is that a striker model? No. No, by the way, that green tiger, same as George's original orange tiger, but the green tiger was painted first. Both Charvels, early Charvels.
Wow.
Ricky's saying he auditioned twice for them
He did. I think originally,
before Randy.
there was
Before Randy.
maybe it was before Randy that he auditioned the first time that he played Booger.
He auditioned the first time. and
Was that
Randy
when he
got
played
the
Booger?
job.
Was that when he played the green guitar?
I don't know. I just know that he auditioned when Randy auditioned. Randy got the job, and then George went to teach guitar at Randy's mom's music school.
Right.
Cool.
At Musonia.
Yeah.
And then he auditioned a second time around Jakey Lee, and he was actually hired. And
He was
I'll be
hired
right back,
for like
guys.
2
he
weeks.
was hired for a little bit, and then
He was
he
hired
was
for 2
fired
weeks.
right in front of Jakey Lee. That's how those two met.
Oh,
You-
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was hired for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they basically nixed it. And Ozzy basically said, "Hey, listen, I know you've been following us for 2 weeks, and we thought you had the gig, but we're actually going to go with Jake."
Jake.
And then George was like, devastated.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That was right in. He said that right in front of Jake.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
George was on his way out. Jake was on his
Jake
way
felt bad because he's friends with George.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be awful.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
but it
And that-
worked out because he got the Dokken gig.
in.
It did work out.
It worked out for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
It's
You know,
like, Ozzy has a guitar player for a couple albums, and then they're gone.
Yeah, and then let's see. So he played the green guitar. The green guitar, by the way, can be seen briefly in the Break in the Chains videos. It's the guitar he's playing when it looks like there's tiny little chains for strings, and he's like crawling up the fretboard, and you can look down and see it's that green guitar. That's Booger. And the rest of the video, he's playing the Yellow Tiger, which was his main guitar at the time.
Guitar,
and it has. Yeah, and it looks checked. It has all these cracks on it. And the way that happened was that got painted just before they flew out to Germany to record and to play and to tour a little bit. And at the very, very beginning of Dokken. And he didn't have a case for it. So what he did, it was freshly painted. He wrapped it in a blanket and tied it up, and he threw it in the luggage compartment where the temperature changed a lot. At those high altitudes, the plane is flying, and the guitar paint cracked like an eggshell, just all over the place, cracked and shrunk and the whole 9 yards. And that's why that Yellow Tiger had all that crack damage from that initial painting and that flight.
Damn.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So there you go. So that was the first Dokken record.
I was reading somewhere that he was it 2018 where he teamed up from the guy from Living Color and formed this little side project, Ultraphonics.
George does.
He does a lot of.
George does so many projects and so much studio work and so many team up works. It's like, let's see, XKM and Sweet Lynch and Sweet,
Dirty
Sweet and Lynch. I mean, just band after band after band.
Yeah,
Striper too. Yeah,
he's got a lot of irons in the fire.
Oh, yeah, that's good. He's working.
Yeah, and to circle back to your original question, because I did get off topic. When George was with Dokken, it was just a beautiful blending. Even if the personalities of George and Don constantly clashed, the music was great. The performances were great. Lynch Mob was a total different sound with Oni Logan. It was a little harder edge, and it was all George is running the show, and it was great. That first Lynch Mob album is a monster record.
That first one is smoking hot.
Really, really terrific. And it's just a different vibe. It's a little harder, it's a little less Oni's such a different vocalist than Don. I like Lynch Mob a lot. I prefer Dokken with George to Lynch Mob, but I really like Lynch Mob a lot, Yeah. But it's a different vibe. It's plus there's the nostalgia, nostalgia factor. I'll never forget, listening to, there you go, the second Dokken album, Tooth and Nail. That's an incredible piece of 80s metal history,
That's
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite 80s metal albums of all time.
Yeah.
Really, really great album.
It is.
And same with Under Lock and Key. When In My Dreams came out, you're watching that video on MTV every day, multiple times a day. They were hammering that video, and I'm glad because I love the song.
Yeah.
One of his greatest guitar solos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely true, Ricky.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
for sure.
It's one of those when you're flipping through and it comes on, you can't turn it off. You have to watch it. Definitely
totally.
Totally.
Yeah.
One piece I like is the instrumental, couple minute long, Mr. Scary.
Mr. Scary. Yeah. That's great, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Yeah, Mr. Scary is a great solo. And I mean that's basically George's version of Eruption. I mean that's his version of Eddie's Eruption. It's like Eddie had Eruption, that's his signature solo. Mr. Scary is George's solo.
Yeah.
John, show us another guitar, bro.
So let's take a look. I brought 3 guitars in total, just to let you know. I'll save probably the best one for last.
All right.
But
yeah.
but I'll show you another one that you'll see George playing a lot, and a lot of people didn't know what it was because they're looking at the body and they're like, "Huh." I
hear
Jay. I hear him too.
Mom!
Ice cream. Ice cream.
Ice cream, man.
Tell me when
Ice cream! Ice cream! I got ice cream! I got some ice cream! I got some ice cream! You want to lick? You want to lick? Psych!
You cannot have some. You cannot have some.
Ice cream. You're on welfare.
You cannot have some. You cannot have some.
I love Eddie Murphy's bit with that.
I don't.
And then he dropped.
So there you go. So anyway, the guitar I'm talking about, a lot of people didn't know what it was. They saw it in videos. They saw it in George's instructional video. They saw him touring a lot with it. He played it to death. But they're like, what is that guitar? Because the body doesn't look like an ESP, and yet the neck says ESP. Well, it turns out it was this guitar, which you might recognize from a lot of things.
Okay, so there it is.
Nice.
There you go.
Wow.
This is
Another keeper.
what this is. This is a BC Rich gunslinger with an ESP neck.
Nice.
And this is called the Sketched Skulls, named after the graphic that's on it,
That is cool.
which is basically
That's
literally
badass.
that sketched skulls.
Yeah, I love that, man.
That's badass.
I've never seen it.
Now, this guitar, you can look for George Lynch, BC Rich Gunslinger. You could probably Google it. But at the time, a lot of people didn't realize it was a BC Rich because ESP saw him get this guitar, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're our endorsee. You got to play an ESP. So what they did, they made him a neck for this body, and this was the neck that they put on it. So it is a BC Rich with an ESP neck. And the story behind this was George was already endorsed with ESP. They gave him his first guitar, the Kamikaze, and they really, that put them on the map because here was this small Japanese company usually making replacement parts, and, they had their own guitar line, but it was not a big deal at the time. Suddenly you get one of the hottest guitars to the 80s as an endorsee. Now you're on the map. So now BC Rich, 2 years later, says, George Lynch is really, really smoking, and he's not on our endorsee roster. He's with ESP. So what can we do to try to woo George over? Well, we have this new guitar, came out early 88, called the Gunslinger. And a lot of guys were playing it, guys like CeCe DeVille and Tracy Guns and, things like that. And they're like, let's make George 2 custom Gunslingers, and we'll just send them to him and see what he thinks. Nice. So this was the first one, and the other one was a black with gray snakeskin on it, and they sent them to him, and George said, hey, these are really good. I'm going to play them. So he started playing them at first with a BC Rich neck, but the headstock had a piece of paper taped to it to cover the logo.
Wow.
So no one knew what it was because they're like, what's the guitar? Can't tell you. But he loved the guitar. So on this guitar, the graphic was done by Dan Lawrence and Glenn Matasiel, who were the big BC Rich graphics guys at the time. And they snuck in this little message on here. I'll read it to you. It's in like microscopic writing. It said, to George Lynch from Glenn Matasiel and Dan Lawrence, copyright 1987, which was the end of 1987, kick some ass.
Nice.
And it's written in tiny, tiny, tiny little letters.
You can kind of make it out, yeah.
You can kind of make it out over here. I'm sorry for the bad lighting.
That's cool, man.
It's all there. And and this was their attempt to try to steal George as an endorsee from ESP. So, again, George didn't want to give up the guitars, so he played these to death. And an interesting side note, The other gunslinger, the one that was black with the gray tear of snakeskin, George had with the neck on that was used to make the Purple Tiger. That was ESP's other neck that they put on for him. And you'll see there's a lot of photos of him playing it to death. And, you know, he plays in a lot of concerts. There's an instructional video where George is in a studio showing you all sorts of tricks. And this is standing on the stand there. And I think he plays it a few times, but definitely very visible. And he toured a lot with it at the time. You know, back in 87, 88.
That is a badass looking guitar.
Awesome, John.
Yeah.
ESP neck. So that is number 2 of 3 of George's guitars, and I saved the best for last.
Nice.
So stick around, kid.
Sweet.
Maple fretboards always work for me, man. I'm a
Yeah, and I had
fretboard
joined.
guy.
I had joined George sign it, and he signed it. Enjoy it, you bitch.
Nice. You got another one, you son of a.
You know what? That's at least he knows where they are, though. You know, which is
He definitely knows where they are. Yeah,
and you have them, and you take such amazing care of them.
I definitely, you know, I love playing them and taking care of them, and you know,
great. That's what, as many as you have, you care for them, you take them out, you play them.
Yeah,
and you know,
you have to maintain them. You have to.
Yeah,
you know,
man. Yeah, they're
and
made
the
to
way people ask, like, how do you maintain, you know, the strings and the oiling and the, you know, whatever, all of it. And look, if I get a new guitar or it needs a setup, I don't fuck with it. I take it to my luthier, and you know, he gives me a special rate, and he's great at. I can't fuck with a Floyd Rose. I'm like an idiot. And as far as strings, they're like, well, how do you know? You must go through a lot of strings and whatever because strings deaden. Strings don't deaden as much when the guitars are kept in their cases in climate-controlled environments.
Right.
So when I take them out, and I keep usually about 6 or 7 out at a time so I can reach for them, and then after a week or so, I put them back, rotate out another 6 or 7, and then I have always a variety of cool stuff to play with, you know, and that's my thing. I like the variety. But when they're out, I feel, hey, is this board dry, like an ebony or rosewood board? Does it need a little oil? So I oil it, and, you know, then that's that. And, you know, if the strings do happen to be dead, then, you know, I switch them out. But it's very rare when they're kept well. And look at these nice Dokken guitar picks of George's. Walk us through these, Tony.
Sweet.
This one is
have a nice.
when they got back together in 1996. That one there. And this is a Lynch Mob, and this is from the Monsters of Rock cruise just this past year.
Wow, that's recent, man.
Back in the winter before COVID hit.
Damn. Yeah.
Right before COVID hit.
Damn.
Yeah. And this is Jeff Pilson. This is from the reunion in 16, just a couple of years ago. They did some Japan dates and just one US date. And they made an album out of it.
Nice.
And this is an older Jeff Pilson. Let's not forget Don. He plays a little.
A lot of people don't realize
see what
that
you're showing.
a lot of people don't realize that Don played guitar. And in the early days of Dokken, Don played more, and he played with George on stage.
Yep.
He had a Charvel Star with flames on it. He also had a Les Paul he used a lot. But then as George, you know, came into his own as the guitar hero, you know, Don just kind of stopped doing it and just, you know, satisfied his frontman.
What I heard was the record company told him that it would be better if he just sung and not play guitar.
I agree with that.
I agree with that too. I mean, you can't compete with, you know, one of the best guitarists of the day, you know, so it's like, why are you trying? Just, you know, do some stunts as frontman, spin around, you know, the mic stand or something, you know?
That's what I heard anyway.
It's
Makes
probably,
sense.
It does make sense, kind of. Yeah.
Probably true because
Sure.
record execs, they don't give a shit. They're looking for money. They'll tell you what they want to tell you. You know,
But I could play guitar too. Yeah. Just say.
you okay?
What are
Now,
you guys looking at?
just wear your hat, Don. You know,
Gary.
Gary, you can't. Oh,
I can't
Gary
see
can't
anything.
behind the
Gary
pick.
can't see.
Gary's behind the pick.
And you know what?
Oh,
You know what-
Gary's
you know what's
behind the
fun?
pick. Hang on,
You know what?
Gary.
You know what's
I
fun?
can't see,
Tony?
man.
Tony, that guitar you have up there right now, I have one of those, that exact one in the case with the purple tiger, that white one right there. I'm holding it right now.
Oh,
nice.
cool.
Yeah. What tour was that from? Do you know?
I do not know. This was when they got back together, I think 96,
Okay.
and that was short-lived as
Yeah.
well.
The lovely personalities clashed once again.
Yeah, those guys did not get along.
Who's your pick?
It's white.
That's white.
And yet somehow you notice they managed to get along for 7 tour dates in Japan 2 years ago because a lot of money was at stake.
Yeah. Oh,
It's amazing how money has that effect to get you along, right?
The great motivator.
I mean,
yeah.
didn't they release an album like in August, just like the Lost Songs or something like that? There was some.
Don released an album, and this is tough. It's the Lost Dokken songs from the early days, like when they first were trying to get together, and there were different members in the band. And what the problem was, those recordings were so low quality, according to Don, that they re-recorded a lot of it.
Okay.
So you're not really getting the old recordings. You're getting parts of the old recordings mixed with parts of new recordings. And you could tell because the vocals on them are not vintage Don, they're current Don, which is very, very different because Don is having a lot of vocal issues lately.
Yeah.
This one is from their last tour over in Japan.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be their last tour.
Man, I have to say I've never seen a stadium show. I really want to see a stadium show. I mean, I've seen some big venues, but I've never seen a stadium show, like a Monsters of Rock type thing. That would be so cool. Oh wait, all right, I kind of lied. I did see Ozfest, if that counts, but that's not really a stadium show, you know?
That's more of a festival.
Yeah, it's a festival. So
there are shows you could look all over YouTube that are recorded from the Monsters of Rock.
I know. I mean, live. I've never seen one live. I want to be there. I got to be there live, man. You probably can't.
Oh yeah.
It's hard though. I mean, I obviously now with COVID you see nothing. But even if they all got together now, and let's say George again got talked into playing with them, Don's vocals aren't what they were back in the 80s. I mean, I feel bad for him. He's having a very rough time, and we love Don, but it's not going to be the same experience that you did, back then.
I think I'm going to need a time machine, but
we all do. Let me know. Let me know when you got the DeLorean gassed up. I'm in.
It's the age. Once you get up there, a lot of them. I mean, even Hagar, he's still holding on, but the voices, they just don't mirror what they did as young men.
I mean,
except for Michael Anthony. Michael Anthony's voice never changes.
Luckily,
Michael Anthony has like one of the best fucking backup vocalists of all times.
If not the best. Not the best.
I said one of the best.
Yeah, him and the boys in Def Leppard.
Oh yeah.
The guys.
Yeah.
Is that the giveaway pick, Tony?
That's the giveaway.
Sweet.
Guys, I'm gonna have to bail. I got some sound checking to do on my guitar before me and Sandra's show. I gotta grab something to eat, so I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah, just send Lisa on. Send Lisa on.
I will, but she's watching Australian car crash movies, so that's probably not gonna happen.
Lisa,
All right,
Lisa
Gary.
will fill in. So we'll
I love
see
all
you
you
in a
guys.
we'll see you in a little while
Yep,
with
see you in a
your
little bit.
own show.
Plus, I'm fading
Yeah.
away.
Communication breakdown. We'll see you in a little while.
Right on.
Big G, everybody.
Love all you guys.
Love you, man.
Thanks for coming. Peace out.
Yep, see you in a little bit.
All right,
All
brother.
right. Later.
All right. The great Gary G. Tholander, man.
Yeah, man.
Big G.
Well, now they can see.
Big G in the house. Yeah.
And then there were 5.
To this.
Okay,
And
what?
Number 5.
Way
Yeah.
back in the Exciter days, George had I had a Chevelle built for him. It was like a star,
It was
Guitar.
a white bound star. Yeah.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
Now, according to a documentary that I saw, Eddie Van Halen saw that guitar and he had one made. And I think that's that one that he cut. It's on the back. It's on women.
That was
Star
the one-
guitar, they call it, John.
Yeah, it was a Charvel star, the one that George had. It was a Charvel star. It was white with black binding, and the one Eddie had was what an Explorer, an Ibanez Explorer, or who? What Explorer was that? Was it an Ibanez?
I think it was.
And he had it. He cut it out. He borrowed it. He borrowed it. He borrowed it from one of the Wasp guys. Was it one?
Hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
Who did Eddie borrow? I thought it was one of the Wasp guys. Maybe Chris Holmes.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I forget. I forget. One of the Halen guys should really know this.
John
and they
B.L.
were. Yeah, John B.L.
Yeah.
No, and I know this is. Johnny Bean is going to watch this and say, "Man, Kuda, come on, man! Don't you know this one? Like, really? Don't you know this one?" Eddie borrowed it. I thought it was. I want to say it was from either one of the Wasp guys or one of the Rat guys. I forget who he borrowed it from. Having a brain.
I
fog
know
here.
who might know. I know who might know.
Someone
We
in the
got a-
chat help me out.
We got a Van Halen guy right here who might know. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bent Tom.
And Tom, hey man, Tom will know
What's
this.
going on?
Tom will know this.
What's the question?
And he had
Eddie's star guitar.
Yeah.
Who'd he borrow it from, and what was it originally?
Thing I did on Eddie.
Was it an Ibanez Explorer?
Well, you talking about the Star guitar or the chainsaw guitar, the Shark?
The Shark.
Oh, the Shark was an Ibanez Destroyer too.
Okay, so I got
Yeah.
that right. Who was it borrowed from? Was it Chris Holmes?
That sounds right. I know the person was pissed because he came
Yeah,
back.
because he basically said, "Hey, can I borrow your guitar?" Yeah, Eddie, sure. And then he turns it back, and it's a big saw chained out. It's like, what the fuck is this? He's like, hey.
Same thing with Marvin Hamlish's piano. $50,000 piano.
I thought I want to say
Chris Holmes sounds right. I'm not sure.
I
though,
think
yeah.
you're right, John.
I could be
one of them,
wrong.
Randy Piper.
I remember he said he never liked it again after obviously he hacked a huge chunk.
John B.L.
Yeah, I know, John B.L.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I'm sorry, I apologize for not knowing this. I should, because I heard it like a million times on the Johnny Bean shows. Anyway, long and short of it was, Ricky, that's basically the idea that, Eddie wanted one of those guitars and he dug it, and there it is.
Maybe that's what it was. We saw George Lynch playing that, and that's what he wanted one too. I know George Lynch is somewhere in that story.
Yeah.
That would be where he was in. Yeah. So anyway, though, but yeah, George played a couple of guitars that a lot of people didn't see, that a lot of people wouldn't recognize unless you look for a really old photo of George. You won't see, other than the Breaking the Chains video, Booger, which is, again, that green Tiger. That was his first Tiger that he auditioned with Ozzy. And, in the Breaking the Chains video, there's not a lot of photos of him with it. There's some, but you really have to look, And same thing. I have a Charvel with flames on it that George played early on in Dokken. And there's a few magazine photos of him with it. And there's one on the inside of Dokken's Greatest Hits CD or album. There's a photo of him with it. But like otherwise, that's not a recognizable guitar unless you're a real Dokken fan that George had, So, everyone knows, the yellow tiger, the purple tiger, Mom, the Skull and Bones guitar, the Kamikaze line. Those are like the main ones. Some people recognize as gunslingers, and various others he's played. But something early on like that white Charvel Star, you really have to know your Dokken and George Lynch history. Like Ricky does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should show him that picture, shouldn't I?
What picture?
Your George Lynch picture.
My George Lynch picture?
It's right behind you.
Yes, your George Lynch picture.
Do you want to see
Everybody, come on. Let's
Your
see
George
your
Lynch
George
picture?
George Lynch picture. Even George is watching right now, like, just show the photo, Ricky. Just show the photo. Let's see what we got.
This is a young Ricky Stars.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
I'm digging the pants.
Got the George hair, the George pants, the boots.
Nice.
George is like, it's like looking in
Mr.
a mirror.
Sexy, not scary.
Well, that's how I look at him now. That's how I think of Ricky now.
Absolutely.
Nice. Anyway, and then there are a lot of magazine specials. I pulled out this one because this one has an ad on the back. This is one of these Japanese magazine specials that I'll fuck up with my lighting. And this is all about George Lynch. Look how thick it is. The Japanese love taking photos of instruments, and you can see like, through here, it goes through like his various tigers, various tigers he's had, the Kamikazes, Mom, and other guitars he's had. The Japanese love keeping track of the guitars. See, here's the two gunslingers. If you look, let's see if I could do this.
Oh, yeah.
I can see it.
Jeez, the freaking lighting. You can see there's the skull, the sketch skulls, and there's the black one with the gray snakeskin with its ESP neck. And again, that neck went on to make the purple tiger. And then there's Mom, probably one of the most recognizable guitars of the 80s.
Yeah.
Don't you have a guitar called Screaming Demon? No,
that's the name of the pickup. And then you can see on the back there's an ad for ESP replicas, and if you look, you'll see what they're selling. They're selling a replica of the black Kamikaze, a replica of his yellow tiger, the what's called Haji, the Skulls and Snakes guitar used on the first Lynch Mob album, and there is the replica of the purple tiger. This is a particular one selling in Japan with the natural headstock like the real one has.
That Skulls and Snakes, is that the one with the two swords?
Yeah, you can look real close. Let's see if I can bring the light over to it a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, I almost bought an LTD like that.
Dude, why didn't you?
Because I wanted the white one instead.
Oh,
well, Sandra, Christmas is coming up, so never too late to get a gift you're proud to give Ricky.
I was playing that, and then I told you the story. The guy said, "Oh, a lot of people been picking up this white one."
Yeah,
and then I played the white one, and I never put it down.
Right,
bought it.
It happens, man. Sometimes you just bond with something in a store. I've been there. I've been to a guitar show where I'm not buying anything today, and then suddenly I play a bunch of guitars, and one speaks to me, and I'm like, oh.
Dude, I say that at train shows. I don't need nothing for my train track. Come on with a bag full of shit.
Yeah, right. What do you collect? Like HO trains?
He collects HO. I collect the N scale.
Okay.
And we do have a train display that runs downstairs. Well,
Nice.
sometimes it runs
Here-
when we're not
God
constantly.
damn it. Here's a photo I was actually looking for this week on Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. And now I found it, although it's not the color version, but this was a photo I was desperately looking for. George Lynch owned a lot of Di Tommaso Panteras, the car,
Cool.
which is what the band was named after. And I was looking for a photo with him and some of his Panteras, and here it is. Let me play with the lights so you can actually see it.
Oh yeah.
This is terrible. Hold on. Okay, and it sucks. All right, is that a little better?
That ain't bad.
Yep.
You can see the cars. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So George used to own 3 Panteras
Wow.
back in the day. There you go. I was looking for that photo literally a few days ago. I couldn't for the life of me find it on the air.
He likes his Riviera too.
Loves his ribbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Riviera is a massive, massive, massive car.
Yeah, I watched that episode.
Yeah, I saw that thing in person. I was just like, wow, this is like a tour bus. Yeah, but you could find like stuff like this on George, and they obviously get behind the guitar player more than just the band, but there are like Dokken magazines and pinups and things like that if you want references to old guitars on there.
They're probably still huge in Japan. I mean, all those 80 bands.
Well, remember,
still really big over in Japan.
Remember,
Hey,
the thing.
Laz.
Go ahead, Sandra.
No, I was just saying hi to Laz.
I thought you were going on. Hey, Laz, welcome. The thing about Japan is Japan never got out of the heavy metal music. They're still there. They're still into it.
Yeah.
Europe too, parts of Europe too. Especially like Scandinavia and but Japan is the reason that Dokken got back together 2 years ago, because they said, hey, look, if you give us 7 live shows, we will pay you this much money. And, even though George is like, I have my own life, and Don's like, I have a different guitarist, and they're like, well, if you guys get together with your original lineup, we'll pay you whatever it was, $1 million a show or something crazy. And they were just like, hey, Don, buddy. They put differences aside,
That side of the stage, don't come near me.
Yeah, and look, and that's if that's how it's got to be,
how it was too.
if that's how it's got to be, that's fine. Just we want to see Dokken as their old school lineup and the whole 9 yards, and they did, and they got together for those few shows in Japan, and that was it. So not a bad thing.
That's why it's hard rock bands that are huge, like Wasp is huge over there and huge in Europe, and they still play, but not in America. They can't do anything in America, but they're still huge.
Yeah, no, totally, and that holds for a lot of metal bands out, especially in Japan, and look at baby metal. Baby metal is an amalgamation of a cute young Japanese girls in schoolgirl outfits doing aerobics and dancing and whatever, singing to metal music, like heavy metal music, and they're massive out there, and they're massive in a lot of places, but Japan is like where something like that can still originate today and start off and into a big thing, and they're totally into the metal scene. You go into Japan, there is I forget what area of Japan it is, but there's blocks and blocks of like 3 and 4 story high guitar stores.
Yeah,
that's how big it still is.
Shibuya, I don't know how you pronounce it. Shibuya. That's where Pete Thorne said when he was touring there. That's where all the guitar stores are.
Yeah, and I know Jason McNamara's been there, and
He's
you know
mentioned it.
other friends of mine, and it's just one of those areas where it's like, you know, sure, in America we have a Guitar Center here and there, and they're going bankrupt and whatever, and you know, back in the 80s we had 48th Street in New York City where you had Sam Ash and Manny's and Rudy's, and you know, all 48th Street Custom, and all the, you know, back in the day that was Guitar Row
on the same block. Yeah.
Japan even today just puts that to shame. And it's not that they have all great stuff. I mean, a lot of them's, you know, crappy Japanese knockoffs and crap, but there's like real guitars there. You'll still find like old Jacksons there and Les Pauls, you know, and all the cool brands mixed in with a lot of obscure, you know, knockoff stuff. Just tons of it though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. What, going around the room, I got to ask, like, what was your favorite Dokken albums?
Ian.
Hey, Ian. What's up, man?
What's up, Ian?
Going around the room. Start us off, Tony.
All right. Mine, I love them all, but the album that it is really head and shoulders above the rest, track for track, the whole album, and it's my go-to in the car a lot, is 1988 Back for the Attack.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah. I hate to leave the rest of them out, but yeah, not a bad tune on the record.
That's a big one, man.
Back for the Attack for me.
Sandra, you and Ricky?
Same as Ricky. We're both tooth and nail, probably. Only he's can't make up his mind. So,
but probably tooth and nail, because that's
what's in between. What's in between?
Yeah, me too.
And I saw that tour.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's in between though? Tooth and nail and what?
Back for the Attack is good.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah, it's too hard to decide, really.
That's like asking me what my favorite Pantera album is.
Yeah, I know, right?
All of them.
That's like asking me what my favorite woman's body part is. Boobs. But I mean, it's between a lot of them. It really is. All right, round the room. Next.
B.
Hey, handsome.
You're muted.
I am muted. Hey, look at that.
Oh, no, you're good.
There you go.
No, I'm good. Tooth and nail for me.
Tooth
and
Tommy?
nail. Yeah, a little bit into the fire. So.
Well, I would say for me, because you know, I came at it like at a different age. I first got into George Lynch solo in '93, Sacred Groove. Like, I love that album.
That was your first Lynch?
That was my first Lynch.
You can say a Lynch Mob album. It's
sure.
Perfectly okay.
But if I was to say Dokken, I would also say for me it's Tooth and Nail. But I went in reverse. I got into Dokken after, just because, you know, I was, I guess 93, I was 15 or 16 years old. So I was just getting into George Lynch then. It's
not your fault you were born later.
Yeah, really. Your mom and dad should have, you know, gotten a little more forward. I mean, you know.
I wasn't the first kid, so.
Yeah, well, I was the only mistake my parents ever made. Here's the thing. I think the best Dokken album out there is Tooth and Nail. But with that said, if I had to just narrow it down to one, I'm going to go with Lock and Key. And I'm going to say that because my all-time favorite Dokken song is In My Dreams.
That's mine too, but that's my favorite song. But yeah, the album's Tooth and Nail. But if I could take that and put it on Tooth and Nail, you know.
Well, then you have greatest hits. I mean,
yeah,
you know.
I know. But yeah,
let's not.
Which I wasn't going to let anyone get away with.
No.
Let's not leave out that great live album also.
Oh, Beast from the East.
Beast from the East.
Terrific live album.
Yeah.
I love that, but I same thing. I thought live album. That's not really like I assumed you meant studio album. So
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I was going with studio, but
yeah.
and then there was what was the one where they reunited Dysfunctional? That song Too High to Fly was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and it was one of those out of the blue, like, you know, the album name Dysfunctional was obviously meaning, okay, the record company got us back together for a round and let's see how it goes, because we're dysfunctional. We are. But, you know, that one song, Too High to Fly, the way it came out of nowhere with that driving bass out of the blue, you know, and it just started the song going off, and it was like building and building and building. It's such a great song. Really, you know, just showing that even years later, they have chemistry, incredible chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to say something. With how popular Dokken was, now I don't know if this is true or not, with how big they were, as far as I know, they were never headliners in the U.S. They were always an opening band.
I only know them as an opening band as well. I mean, you know, you could say, okay, well, they were, you know, in the middle of the pack of the Monsters of Rock tour, so you can't really call them a headliner. I knew them as a lot of opening bands. I've seen them solo, but I've never seen them headlining a stadium tour.
Not a big tour.
Yeah, they never got that big. They were, you know, bands like Dokken and Tesla. You know, these are bands that you're waiting to break enough to break into a headline, but they never really could, as much as they were like one of my personal favorites.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Like
Just something about it.
It's kind of crazy, man.
It's like,
how the hell did that happen?
I don't. It's weird to me, because to me they were as big as Motley Crue.
Yeah, just as good.
Or,
yeah.
Or Poison.
Or
but
better.
yet
In
they
my
never
opinion,
had their
also.
own headline show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I agree. And you know, Poison was one of my 80s favorites. And you know, I always saw them headlining. I've seen about 20 times too. But you know, Dokken, for some reason, I just don't know what kept them. They had a cool image. They had, you know, tons of, you know, MTV hits, you know, which at the time was really, you know, driving a lot of, you know, traffic to them. I don't understand. They were very consistent with, you know, getting their numbers as far as the albums, and they kept coming out with product and a live album, and they were touring a lot. What prevented them? What stopped them from taking that little edge?
If George and Don, if they'd have just stayed together, and, you know, no hiatuses, maybe.
I mean, the problem is, even when George broke into Lynch Mob and Don broke out Don Dokken, you were starting to get to the end of the runs for, you know, for metal music, you know, just before grunge started really, you know, ruining everything.
It's really tough. It's tough for especially a metal band to stay around.
Motley Crue, they came out with Shout at the Devil, headliners. The next album, or the opening, and then the next album, they were headliners, and from there on, they were.
Yeah.
Theater of Pain, the one thing that made Theater of Pain break Motley Crue into headliners was that one song, Home Sweet Home, because they had the coolest video ever made to this day on MTV every day for like literally years.
Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't run out. It was like, it was always number one on the daily top 40. It was always, you know, Headbangers Ball Countdown, the top 100 it was just, nothing was cooler than that one video of seeing what life was like backstage and on the road and groupies, and you know, the song was so cool, and that one song really, really, really made them headliners. You know,
the same thing was with Rat. Out of the Cellar, they were opening that next album. They were headlining.
Yeah.
You know, Lay It Down was that's my favorite Rat album.
Yeah.
What was it?
Invasion.
Invasion. No. No, not Invasion of Your Privacy. Was it Invasion?
Yeah.
Invasion of Your Privacy. Invasion of Your Privacy. Sorry. Yeah, but that one song, Lay It Down. I mean, that's my favorite Rat song, and had a cool video, hot chick, had all the '80s elements you need. Hot chick wandering around, and
the thing, man. It's like Dokken was at, they were right there at that level.
They were
with Rat. I mean,
Marty
Martini and George Lynch. They're like, they're like this.
For sure.
I don't know what it is about Dokken, why they didn't ever break through.
They couldn't break the chains.
They couldn't break the chains. They were alone again backstage.
Ian, the hair was the best part.
Man.
It was great songs, though. I just don't know that unlike a lot of other bands of that era, that the vocalist had the ultra cool image thing going on like a lot of other bands did. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not, but
I liked
Ricky's right. They were right there.
Don's image with the hat and the whole fringe. I loved that image. I thought it was very unique. In the chat, I'm just curious, rattle off your favorite Dokken albums, because you see ours. I think the general consensus up here is mostly Lock and Key. Tooth and Nail, which again, I agree is, in my opinion, the best Dokken album, but I am curious what the chat thinks as far as general consensus of who's watching right now. So just pop in the chat and say what your favorite Dokken album is. And it could be Lynch Mob, it could be Don Dokken, but I'm curious.
Dirty Shirley.
No, CK, Don did not wear a fedora. Don's hat was one of those Western cowboy hats, the same as Richie Sambora wore.
All right.
And long black leather coat, though. That's true. But let's see what your favorite albums are. I'm curious what the chat says.
Ooh, CK.
CK says Lock and Key. That's my choice.
The thing about Dokken, too, is they were more of like a musician's hair metal band, if you want to call it that. A lot of musicians liked Dokken more than they liked Motley Crue.
Because of George, because of the
play. What I mean? Yeah.
Right. It was
more playing and less theatrical, so more technical. So
I mean, look, Don's a good frontman. He's not charismatic like Bon Jovi, but he, George is the star of that show for other musicians because he's so good.
A lot of love.
Let's see.
John,
that's why I like Dokken so much. I'm a guitar player, and he, that's who I looked up to, was George back in the day.
Well, the thing is, and CK brings up Motley Crue. Motley, you're right. Dokken was better musicians. I mean, let's put it on the table. It's really going guitarist to guitarist, because we're not going to say, oh, this one's a better drummer. This one, I mean, Tommy's a better drummer technically with theatrics and style.
By far.
Guitarist to guitarist. Yeah, Mick Mars plays good, solid rock, and he's consistent, and he's great, and he's a good writer. But George is exceptional. He's a guitar hero.
Yeah, he's no George Lynch.
I think Mick Mars is more of like a really good utility player.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he fits the slot perfect, but he doesn't shine like, wow,
Right.
Steve K brings up a point where he says Crue is more image than music.
Yeah, and they are. Yeah. And they are. But here's the thing. Vince was a way better frontman than Don Dokken.
Yes.
And in the 80s, you needed that. You needed that charisma.
Yes, Lassie did.
a good-looking bad boy that just had girls dripping all over him.
Not now, though. Now he's doing videos.
Now he's dripping ice cream down his chin, but
he looks like a Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, well,
Poor guy.
However, I have to add, if it wasn't for Mick Mars, I wouldn't be a BC Rich player.
Nice.
That's true.
Yes. I saw that White Warlock.
Everyone saw that White Warlock.
What did I go and do? Yeah, I bought one.
Nice.
Save his paper route money.
Yep, save my paper route.
I don't know if I agree with that, because I mean, they can hang. Nikki can play. Vince can sing. Maybe not now. I mean, Nikki can still play.
Nikki learned to play.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was mostly theatrics, right? But they did.
Well, the songs are there.
I mean, not everybody can be Eddie Van Halen or George Lynch or J.E. Lee. You know, I mean,
look, Crue puts on a great show. They're great musicians with well-written songs. And again, I don't need a guitar hero. Mick is solid and keeps bringing the goods. That's good enough for me. If you wrote a good song, I'm down, man. I'm buying the album. I'll support you guys. But to a musician, to another musician, to guitar players, we're looking at George as, wow, I wish I could play like that guy.
Yeah,
right.
I see his point, saying,
by
player standards, yes. If you list him with everybody else, he's right. But but the actor wise,
we like the Dokken songs and the albums, but it was a big draw of how well George could play. That was the
No, the songs were there on both bands, absolutely. I was thrilled picking up both a Crue album and a Dokken album, But at some point you just hit that right song and that right video on MTV, and suddenly everyone's got to see. I hope they play Home Sweet Home, which of course they're gonna play.
Wild Side, when Tommy's drum set's spinning around, it's freaking sweet.
Yeah,
Tommy, in my eyes, Tommy is the best drummer of the '80s. I have to say.
The showmanship, that 360-degree drum kit, which was or middle
over the audience.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
if you've ever seen when he talks about it, he said that was commitment, because he said at some points he would start to black out because there's so much blood rushing to his head.
Sure.
Lean and kind of you lean up for a while.
Think about what you're trying to do. You're trying to drum all over the place. Keep your coordination while you're getting dizzy.
Yeah. That's pretty nice.
And gravity's fighting you, dropping your drumsticks.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
But
let's give away a pick.
Yeah, man, let's give it away.
Give it away.
Tell us more about this pick that we're giving away for trivia today.
All right, so I'm gonna just highlight me here. This guitar pick is from the reunion a few years ago in 2016.
Cool.
There was just a couple versions made. That and this right there. I have a couple or so of these, and it's going to make a very nice giveaway.
So which one are you giving away? The Orange Tiger?
Yeah.
Really cool. I like that.
Okay. So in the chat, get your thinking caps on, because this is a very cool trivia question for all the marbles.
All right. So everybody, you know the drill. The answer in the chat that we see first is the winner. If you're the winner, there's an email address down in in the links at the bottom of this show. Email me your name and address. I'll mail you this guitar pick out Monday morning.
And then as soon as you get it, you can send it to me.
Yeah.
All right. This
Good luck,
question,
everybody.
All right, let's be quiet while Tony reads the trivia question of the week for the giveaway.
Dokken question. Know your Dokken. All right, so here we go, everybody. Don Dokken's first band in 1976 was called Airborne. A couple members of this band later went on to join Rat in 1983. Name at least one of them.
First and last name.
And it's the
Need
first
both
right answer
names.
that shows up in the chat.
You can misspell it, but got to have first and last name.
No Mike Niece.
Oh, CK.
There it is.
Okay, Ron Croucher is
Yep.
one of the two members. Very close, Tim, but CK beat you to the punch.
Do you know the other one by any chance, CK? It's not going to count against if you don't, but just wondering if you know both of them. You
Just
didn't have
curious.
time to type them both. I just need one name.
Yeah. Whose name is shorter?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Who knows the other name? Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
No additional prize, but who knows the other one?
Well, it's up on the screen now.
Yeah.
One stayed right up.
It is not
until
one.
Rat.
Wasn't Warren.
Bobby Blotzer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bobby.
Bobby Blotzer was the other correct answer. So
Congrats.
congratulations, CK.
Yeah.
Give us your info.
Email me your info and I'll mail you this guitar pick out on Monday. Way to go. Thanks for being here. And thank
Well done, CK.
everybody for being here. Yeah, well done. Nice.
So let's say, what are we going to the 2 hour? We're going to the 2 hour mark.
I gotta bow out.
Well, you have an upcoming show today, Communication Breakdown,
I do.
coming up a little later on YouTube for those that want to watch some quality entertainment.
Let's recognize her real quick. We want to thank Sandra,
Co-producer
for all
and
her
moderator, Sandra
Pokorney, Pokorney,
Thank you.
Pokorney, me love you long time.
So we have before
you.
we go off, there is one more George Lynch owned Dokken guitar to show.
Yeah.
highlight of the show.
I'm going to show that for those that were smart enough to hang around.
And that'll be the giveaway never.
that will not be the giveaway. Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all are going to know this guitar, and John actually owns this actual George Lynch guitar. Hold on to your hats.
This is one of the most famous guitars of the 1980s overall. You'll all recognize it. There's been thousands and thousands of replicas made of it from dozens of companies over the years. This is the original one that was in the Hard Rock Cafe for 30 years until George was able to get it out, and now it is in my possession. And again, you'll recognize it immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, the original Skull and Bones guitar, Mom. This is
That's
I have to emphasize, this is not a replica. This is the original Skull and Bones guitar that George played in the early days of Dokken in the 80s. This is the one that you saw in all the videos, the It's Not Love video, and countless tours. Again, thousands and thousands of replicas and variations have been made of this guitar. It was the one in the Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors video that came to life fighting Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And again, George gave it to the Hard Rock Cafe in 1987. There you go. And this has a lot of history to it. This was made by J Frog originally. There you go. It started off with a different neck, and then ESP made this neck for it. Or J Frog made this neck for it. ESP insisted on an ESP logo put on this, but this was strictly John J Frog Garcia construction. You notice the tuners are little skulls and bones.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Those were, I believe, put on by Gerard Gagnon, a good friend of mine who was George Lynch's guitar tech for all those years and still techs for George sometimes. Basically, this guitar was, but no, that's not it. Now, let me point out to you something. If you look at that guitar, that's the replacement he used briefly for this. You could tell the difference on the skull. The skull is totally different. So that's the second version George played briefly.
Wow.
That he wasn't really crazy about, but there's a few photos of that one out there. But what had happened with this was the original. And at some point during the Burnin' Like a Flame video off of the Back for Attack album, they were doing a video where the boys got on a fire engine at night and it was very cold out. And they're driving around in this fire engine at high speed, and they're on the ladder and the whole 9 yards. And George has this guitar out with him, and the temperature affected an area of the wood where it formed a little crack by the bridge, and it had a rattle to the bridge suddenly. And George couldn't deal with that rattle. So at that point, after that video was made, George donated this to the Hard Rock Cafe. And it originally sat in the Hard Rock Cafe by the air conditioning unit, by the air conditioning vent, which turned it a little more yellow. If you notice, it's like a very aged looking bones. At one point, it was like really white. And now over the years, it's aged. And what had happened is this was in the Hard Rock Cafe and shifted from Hard Rock to Hard Rock over the period of 30 years. Some of you saw it in Hollywood, some of you saw it overseas. And eventually, George was able to get it back out, and I now own it. But interesting little notes. The tooth, the little gold tooth there that you see right over there, that's a real tooth with a gold crown on it. That was the tooth that belonged to the builder, John Garcia, and he just happened to save it. And as he was building, he thought it would be really interesting to put an actual tooth in the guitar build. And he also originally tried experimenting with some hair on here, but then he decided to pull it off, and it ripped off a little bit of the clear coat, you might notice, if you look at a little tone difference there. So when he built it, there were little nuances and things that, made this very identifiable. Obviously, the detail is incredible. If you look at some of the detail of the bones, see if you can see that.
That's cool.
It's a little hard to see, but they're very intricately carved. And a few years ago, I lent this guitar back to George and Craig Rundles to make replicas, a small run of replicas called the OG Bones guitars. That Craig still owes me one, and it was probably the best, closest replica you'll ever find of this guitar, because I let him see how intricate detail the carvings were, and he was very good at making, as close as possible replicas to it. Again, if you sit them side by side and really, really look, you can see the differences with like a magnifying glass or something, but he made a few of those, I think about 8. And the original, though, is the original. I mean, you'll never be able to fully replicate it. But again, you could also see, little sun shadows like on the back. George had something there. I don't know if it was a Sustainiac or a little tag or something. The neck itself is it's an ebony neck that's scalloped from the 10th fret. If you could see that, let's see if you can.
Yep, you can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a little hard to see. I apologize for the light, but you can see on the side it's scalped from the 10th fret up.
Yep.
It has another prototype pickup in there. I don't know what they called it, but not your normal pickup. When it came out of the Hard Rock Cafe, obviously, repair technology had caught up with the ability to fix guitars better than an 87. So that little crack was able to be repaired so that the bridge had no more rattle. So it plays, back like it did in the day.
Nice.
And again, ESP insisted, even though they didn't build this, they insisted on putting an ESP logo on, just like with the Gunslinger, every guitar George played.
Yeah.
So, ESP had nothing to do with building this. This was all J. Frog, John Garcia, hand carved and whatnot. ESP did at one point try to do a limited run of 25 of these on their own, and they got sued with a cease and desist. So I believe they made about 22 of them, and like the last 3 never got assembled or put together. So that didn't work out, and they weren't very good replicas, to be honest. There are companies that do very good jobs on making replicas of this. I know Piper Guitars, and as I mentioned, Craig Rundle's did a great job, and a couple of others do some really nice work. But I've also seen like disastrous replicas of this. And again, there's certain guitars of the 80s. I would say this is in the top 5 most recognizable 80s guitars. You have obviously Eddie Van Halen Stripes, no brainer. Randy Rhoads, you have the Concorde, no brainer. I'd say this. I'd say maybe Steve Vai's Gems. Probably George's Tigers, are really rounding out what I consider the top 5 most recognizable and replicated guitars of the 80s. And yeah, CK's asking if I've ever played it. Yeah, it's my guitar. Of course I played it. Like I said earlier with the Purple Tiger, that I also own the original one George had, do you play it? It's so valuable. Yeah, but I'm not going to hurt it. George has played this on thousands of stages, and he's a rough player. I'm a living room player. I'm not going to do any damage to this playing it on my couch. So, yeah, of course I play it. Do I play it, every day, all day? No, once in a while, like every other guitar, it's a treat, but it's like an iconic piece of history of the 80s metal scene. Yeah, it's, the iconic piece of history of the metal scene that I'm honored to own. Is it awkward to play? It's not, because if you look at it, it's actually look where my hand falls. It's easy to rest on it, and it's like it falls to the bridge. There's nothing over here that's inhibiting me. I have a hard time playing an Explorer because it brings my arm out to here. But like this is very comfortable. Is it odd? I mean, it's like just. I don't want to get us flagged, but but the idea is it's very comfortable because I'm a sit down player. Now I don't know if does it have George's tone? Yes and no. It's the same guitar with the same pickup, but my fingers are not George's, and tone comes from the fingers.
Yeah.
So can I play Breaking the Chains? Can I play In My Dreams? Yes. Can I play it and sound like George? No fucking way. You just can't. There's a certain way, I fan out when I play, I fan out my fingers, same as George does. Let's get it up a little bit. I fan out my fingers too. I don't do, like this. I also, like George does, I fan out my fingers. Maybe I, copied that from him or whatever, but there's no way I could ever sound like George. And no, you say it looks like the bones would make it awkward to play. It's really not. This is very smooth, even though it's, got that 3D effect, because they are, standing out. They are 3D onto a flat surface. It is in that way, but it's like, you look at that and it's like, yeah, there's all these pieces hanging up there. But as a sit down player, it is fine for me to play. It's, and the neck is very nice. It's a thin D-shaped neck, And at the point that George gave this to a Hard Rock Cafe, like you showed a photo earlier, there is another version of this made that he didn't quite connect with, but I'll show you a photo of them side by side. And you can see the difference in the skull. Like you look there, and you see the top one. The top one is the original guitar, which George named Mom. That's what it's really called. A lot of people make the mistake of saying, "Oh, isn't that guitar called Mr. Scary?" No, George's nickname is Mr. Scary, and he had a guitar with a skull painted on with a rose in its mouth that was named Mr. Scary. This guitar's official name is Mom, or the Skull and Bones. But if you look at the top and bottom photo, you see the one they made as a quick replacement isn't as detailed, and George didn't really bond with it. The bottom one, So, but that was where that came from.
Cool.
Hold that up again, John. Show me the back of it.
Okay, the back of it obviously has a lot of play wear, and this was where he signed it over to the Hard Rock Cafe. Let's see if sorry about the line. There you go.
Sure. Yep. 87.
Yeah. Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll see if you can see the detail a little better at this angle, probably with the light behind it.
Yep.
My daytime lighting is not great, so I apologize for that to the audience. And then let me give you a little thumbnail. Let's see. Let's take that and the Purple Tiger. Those are two really cool ones. Let's see. Let's do that. And
nice.
How's that?
Nice.
That's awesome. How long can you hold up there, John?
Yeah, I know, right? My arm's like dead.
Take the picture. Take the picture.
Grab the screen grab. Get the screen grab. But that's basically it. I mean, this is, easily one of the best guitars in my collection. I'm honored to own it. I'm proud to share it more often. So that, again, I could show people, parts of it that you don't normally see, like the back and like close-ups and things like that. And, like I said, it's on Mother's Day. There's no finer mom other than my own.
Yeah.
We're glad you have it too. Thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We appreciate you sharing those. They're incredible. Incredible.
Sure. I appreciate everyone tuning into the show.
Everybody knows those guitars.
Yeah.
I am blown away.
Yeah.
Iconic. Yeah.
Yeah. My Lord.
Amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Goodness. I mean, it's one thing to have a replica of that, but you plug that thing in and you sit down and play it. You have to be aware in your own mind of the history that you're holding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, look, hairs stand up on the back of my neck owning something like this.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to own something that was such a piece of 80s metal history, much less Dokken's history and George's history. And, again, this is something that as a kid, I looked at in awe and go, oh my God, that's the most incredible looking, cool guitar in the world. To own something like that it's humbling, because make no mistake, all I've done to own this was pay the most money. That's all I did. George made it famous. Dokken made it famous. I didn't do anything special, nor do I deserve this. I'm just blessed to have it and be able to share it with everyone, because it is something that I geek out over. It's something I remember seeing live in concert. I remember looking at in awe on the videos and pinups and posters and magazines and Metal Edge and Rip and, all that stuff. So to be able to, look at it close, much less hold it, much less own it, is like mind-blowingly geeking me out.
But it's cool because if you didn't own it, it would be stuck in the Hard Rock somewhere. No one would see it.
And that was one thing that bothered me for years and years. There are guitars in the Hard Rock Cafe, and this is actually one of two guitars I own from formerly in possession of the Hard Rock Cafe. The other one was another J Frog, the Shark and Leg guitar owned by Mark Kendall of Great White, that I was also blessed by a circumstance to be able to, own that one from the Hard Rock because they don't sell guitars and they don't need money, and they're not a corp. They're owned by the Indians and they don't need money. They have endless amounts of money. They don't sell stuff. They're not going out of business, and they just don't get rid of stuff. So there are guitars in there that I would love from, Warren DeMartini and Mick Mars and whatever. But this one always stuck in my craw as, oh my God, here's what I call a named guitar, Mom, specifically a named guitar, a famous, really iconic piece of my childhood that I thought was just rotting away in French fry greased air and not being maintained or played or loved or oiled or anything. And I thought it deserved better. And, I basically came up with George with a way to get it out of there. And that doesn't happen. And believe me, I've tried on a lot of things. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't. But this one time, thankfully, I was able to get it and bring it back out to, rather than look at it in the hard rock where people are like, oh, look up there. Hey, I recognize that. Now it's up close. Now I could bring it to you and to your screen and say, take a look at this. Take a look at the detail. Here's some history on it. And it's safe and it's maintained and it's being played and it's being loved. And if you're over my house, I'll bring it over to you and you can hold it and play it too, and that's, that's the type of thing this deserves.
After the vaccine, I'll be there and I'll play some of these. Give me some time.
Rock and roll, man. Rock and roll. You're more than welcome, man. Once the world gets back to normal, brother, you're more than welcome.
That'd be awesome, dude. And I still want to make a film with you, so we still have to do that too. So
porno is always welcome. Oh, wait, a different type of film. Yes.
Hey, you said you were doing that type of film with me first, Bud Cheeks.
Whoa, man. We all get together, man. We all get together. We'll have a gangbang. Yes, we will.
John Falvey.
Thank you, John Falvey. The great John Falvey. A huge influence on my life, I must say.
It's great.
Yeah, and thank you in the chat for the nice words. I love you guys, really. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And I think George probably knew too that, John, that you were going to take care of it and that you had a reverence for this instrument. You weren't just going to put it in a vault or a closet somewhere and say, "Ooh, how much money is it going up to?" No,
I don't. It's not about money. I paid a pretty penny to get it out and went through a lot of hoops with George, and it was not easy, but it was like a mission.
Was that the first one you got, or was the other one first? Was that one first, or the?
This is the only one that we got in that way, directly approaching the hard rock and coming up with a plan. The other one was a weird circumstance. I'll just really quickly tell you. The Mark Kendall Shark guitar, if you look, it's in the Great White Lady Red Light video and countless pinups and posters, and you could Google it. But the way that one came out was Mark Kendall gifted it to Dick Clark, who had a similar restaurant to the Hard Rock Cafe. At one point, the Hard Rock Cafe conglomerate took over Dick Clark's chain and absorbed it into Hard Rock. But at one point, there was a clause that when they got rid of it, it went back to Dick Clark's family. So Dick Clark's estate put it up at an auction without getting into too much detail. And I knew about this auction and I paid a good amount for it. And, before I did, I wanted to get Mark's blessing. And I said to him, I said, hey, listen, not for nothing. This thing's probably going to go for a lot of money. I want your blessing for it. And he was not happy because he's like, well, Dick Clark should have given it back to me. And, I gave it to him and, it's not my possession, but just, morally, Dick Clark's estate should have offered it to me and whatever. I said, look, if you're telling me you're going to bid on it, I won't go against you. But I really, really have wanted one of your, and I'm friends with Mark. And I said, I really have wanted one of your guitars for years. Over the years, you've turned down some great offers from me. I said, if you'll let me get this one, I promise I'll be real good to it and whatever. And Mark gave me his blessing. He said, all right, you know what? It's going to go for more than I would pay for it. So I'd rather you have it than someone I don't know. And that was basically where it circumvented the we don't sell rule of Hard Rock Cafe. So It's just
Awesome.
ironic that it's also a J-Frog. Because
Yeah.
that one was made in conjunction with J-Frog and BC Rich. You know, Dan Lawrence of BC Rich worked on it, as well as John Garcia. Between the two of them, that one came together. But there you go. So I hope the audience enjoyed seeing this and the other of Lynch guitars that I brought on today. You know,
It was amazing.
yeah, and I did show this before on Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. If you guys watch on YouTube, if you don't, please check it out. That's the show I do every Tuesday night with Neanderthal and Johnny Bean.
Every Tuesday at 8 Eastern on Johnny Bean's channel.
5 Pacific.
Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. Every Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's funny, and every week I bring on a show and tell guitars. So
it makes that like just getting out of Monday funk, and you're in a Tuesday, and you're like, oh, it's only Tuesday, but then I look forward to Tuesday night.
Thank you. So. It's a show we try to make people laugh, and we talk about 80s metal and guitars, and we just have a good time. So
even if you weren't into guitars, it's just funny. It's
a lot of penis humor. So check it out. It's funny. It's fun.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I want to thank Mr. Bent Tom.
Thank you.
Mr. Brendan B. Squared over here. And our very special guest today, John Mancuda. Everybody give it up for John.
Yeah.
Leave a thumbs up. Always a pleasure, John. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having us on.
You know you rock.
Thank you, man. You rock too,
love
brother.
You, dude. Absolutely. We want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Have a great holiday week.
Mm-hmm. Happy Festivus if you celebrate that, and happy belated Hanukkah if we missed you on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wear your mask.
Wash your hands.
Safe.
Be safe.
Watch your get-togethers in the holiday week and New Year's week.
It's better to stay isolated away from your family one Christmas than lose someone for the rest of the Christmases of their life.
Yeah.
And believe me, I've seen it. Trust me on this one.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Wise words.
Yep.
All right. So, everybody, we appreciate you being here today. John, any last words, Bubba?
Love everyone in the audience. Thank you. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see the rest of you Tuesday nights on Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. Rock on.
Awesome. All right, guys and girls, have a great week. Merry Christmas.